Hello everyone, welcome to another mod overview, this time on Underpowered. A mod that simply adds in a bunch of machines that allow you to convert between a powered furnace and a generator along with a cable, a battery, and an unobtainium container for getting the unobtainium from either of the two machines here. So, start off with the generator, which is pretty standard. You obviously just put in certain fuel and it'll do its thing. You can see obviously the burn time just by hovering over the sort of flames icon here. And obviously it can hold 16,000 energy. You can put a battery in to obviously store said power, or that'll be the output for a full battery, I'm pretty sure though. So that's not going to do much more than that. It's just going to store 4,000. You can put in obviously a log, and that'll do 3.7 seconds. And obviously if you put in something like a sapling or a stick, it'll do 1.2. If you do something like lava, it'll last for pretty much 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So lava's quite useful here. I'm assuming you can only use combustible resources as well for this, so there's not much else you can do outside, I think, unless it supports similar. Now I don't know about power generation for any of the machines here, whether or not you can use Tech Reborn or certain others, but as this mod does have its own generator, if you didn't have another tech mod installed, you obviously can generate power easily using its generator, even if it is pretty much kind of like a coal sort of, you put whatever resources that are burnable in here type. Anyways, just wait for this to finish. It's there. Shouldn't be too long, and it'll go straight into the bottom slot. There we go. Now, that's not really much else because I'm just going to keep doing that. So, yeah. So as you can see, I've just got a bunch of lava that's just been in here. Fill up these, and now these are completely full as well, so that's great. So we've got enough power here. So we've got the electric furnace, which obviously is just a powered version of the regular furnace. We just put in, for example, a log. You can see it'll take about 5 seconds to process. We've got some charcoal, and if you wanted to, say, cobble, for example, you can still let it process, but it's not going to go into the output slot. So it'll pretty much just be on that end there. I don't know if it's that you don't have any power and it can't finish. I have not tested that before. So I might actually do that now and see what happens. I'm pretty sure you can just put this right next to it, can't you? Yes, you can. You can do that. Cool. So just put a bunch of cobble in here. For example, just use up the power and see what happens. I don't think it does the same as a regular furnace where it just like stops doing it entirely. Yeah, so it just keeps it at that state of progress. Cool. And obviously things I assume do stack if you're doing multiple. So for example, just do 2 logs worth, and then we'll just do it as a normal furnace. Everything obviously stacks after a while, but yeah. So that's if we wanted to put a battery in here, we could. So put a full one in here, it'll go straight in there, and obviously once it's done, it'll empty it out. Don't know what's with that one, did that actually have a second? Apparently it did. So that's just completely empty out in no time. It'll probably not fill up the entire bar, I assume, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get close. Close enough at least, there we go. Next, of course, we've got the de-materializer, which pretty much breaks down stuff into unobtainium, and then the constructor is where you use unobtainium to create stuff, so it's basically the reverse of this. So we just put something in here, for example, such as, I don't know, a plank of wood, so that'll completely burn it, and that'll give us 512 there. We put a log in, it'll give us 2000 something. We put in, for example, cobblestone, it's not that much more either. Sapling, for example, that can't be right. Okay, saplings are apparently as good as logs, that's interesting. Thought they'd be worth less. Is a stick, perchance, any worse? Interesting, okay. Let's see, glass. And obviously you can put a multitude of different things in here, it depends. If it takes a lot longer, it'll use a lot more power, and it's also breaking down quite a lot of the resource. So something like lapis or diamond will also do the same thing, it'll fill up most of the bar there. And obviously you're going to want an unobtainium container. As you can see, I've obviously got both of these next to each other, so they're not actually accessing the unobtainium, unlike, say, the power connection we've got with the generator and the furnace. It'll go straight to the next one. You don't need cables unless you're really going for the distance between the blocks. So we just put our unobtainium container in here, and that'll pick up as much as it can. And then from there we can put it inside here. And then that'll be able to give us enough to create, say for example, iron. And that'll allow us to make around about 15 or so. Obviously it depends on how much you've got in here, how much it needs. You can see that it's about halfway there, so it needs a bit more before it can actually create another ingot. So yeah, and you can just pretty much take this in and out, and it'll be fine. Otherwise, I think you can probably use a hopper for these. I don't remember if I tested that last time. So that takes that out. It's not the iron ingot, apparently. Interesting. So can I go like a chest or something on top? I cannot. On the side, no. Below, nothing. So that's a completely separate inventory, and it's not going to take the catalyst either. That's interesting. That's obviously just going to unobtainium, so that's not going to pick anything up. I assume maybe it might here. Just go, I don't know, some logs, I guess. Let's see if it picks it up. Probably will, just like a normal furnace, pick it up from the bottom. It doesn't, okay. So I don't know if it's that they're supposed to have their stuff contained, or it's that maybe I just need something else besides a hopper to pull them out, like some piping, I don't know. Other than that, of course, we've just got cabling, which obviously we're just connecting up machines. So now for recipes, of course, which is simply just... you got the cable, which is red dye and iron ingots, which makes 3. Constructor, which is 3 diamond blocks, furnace, 2 iron ingots, and a cable. De-materializer is 1 diamond block, some iron ingots, furnace, and a cable. Electric furnace is just a cable, iron block, and furnace. And a generator is simply iron, a furnace, and a cable, except so basically without the diamond block, like a de-materialization or de-materializer recipe. An obtainium container is simply 2 buckets and iron, and then you've got obviously the battery, which is like so. So yeah, and that's basically the whole mod, is just these few blocks and the few items you can use for transferring things between blocks. So yeah, that's basically it. Again, of course, I think I probably covered it before, is that you need data packs to set the base values and add additional recipes. So I can't, for example, put in any stuff from VM computers. Just can't. If I wanted to put in anything else that's from vanilla, I can do that, no problem. I technically even can break down the actual, say, constructor in here, because it's from the mod, and it just apparently has its own values. I don't know how much, but it's probably because it has its own recipes, maybe, actually, which is probably why, and it considers all the blocks here. I don't think these have recipes, so that's probably why it's not showing up. But if it's probably something that has a recipe, and it is probably vanilla-based mostly, it'll go, okay, it's that, that, and that. Or maybe if there's some connection to a vanilla resource, say if it's something like copper, it probably can't. But if it's something where it's a vanilla resource and it can probably detect whatever each of these are, then no problem. As far as I can tell though, there's no way to easily view any of these actual values in-game. You'd probably have to find out in the files, or whatever else via data packs, make whatever the values are change. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.